Kung Fu Panda 2 is not directed by Mark Osborne and John Stevenson, but it is directed by Jennifer Ya Nelson. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced her middle name. Sorry about that. Um, Also in her feature directorial debut. But yeah, pretty much a majority of all the voice actors from the first film has come back and reprised their roles. Jack Black, Angelina Jolie, Dustin Hoffman, Seth Rogen, Lucy Liu, David Cross, James Hong, and Jackie Chan. But yeah, but this movie also has Gary Oldman, Michelle Yeoh, Danny McBride, Dennis Haysbert, Jean Claude Van Damme, and Victor Garber voicing new characters. In this film, Poe and his furious five allies, Tigers, Monkey, Viper, Crane, and Mantis, travel to Gongmen City to stop the evil peacock Lord Shen from conquering China while also rediscovering Poe's forgotten past. Um, so yeah. So kind of like the first film, I'm gonna break this movie down. I have seen this movie. I've seen Kung Fu Panda 2. Now that I'm thinking about it, yes, I have seen Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3, but only once in theaters. And then I never went back to it. Like, it never played on, the first film, like, was so popular. And it, a couple of, TV network channels was replaying it and re-airing it over and over again. I can't say the same. I can't remember the, about the second and the third film too. But yeah, so yeah, I've never rented the movie. I've never bought it on the movie. If it's on Netflix or something, I've never. I never was. Nothing intrigued me or nothing told me to like go back and watch it. But here we are, Kung Fu Panda 2. As always, this film has beautiful animation that is a major step up from the already technically impressive first film. The movie once again has amazing voice acting, such as from Jack Black, Angelina Jolie, Dustin Hoffman, Seth Rogen, Lucy Liu, David Cross, Jackie Chan, and James Hong. Just amazing, amazing as others. Like I said, along with the newcomers for this franchise, Gary Oldman, Michelle Yeoh, among many others. It expands upon the previous films and dives into subjects like Poe's origins. The ending even teases the plot of Kung Fu Panda 3 in a nice way. Kung Fu Panda 2 has exciting and fast paced fight scenes that are also really creative at times, such as the first fight scene. Lord Shen is an excellent villain, and Gary Oldman does a phenomenal job bringing him to life with his voice acting as him, and he is a much better villain than Tai Lung. I know there are people out there who will debate me, maybe you, who think that Tai Lung is the better villain, and I don't know, maybe because of nostalgia or because something, or maybe because of other reason. But for me, I feel like Lord Shen is a better character development and characterization. He's a better villain than Tai Lung. But hey, he's still awesome. Tai Lung is still awesome. Don't get me wrong. Um, and, but yeah, and Tai Lung still, even though he's awesome, he's still pretty forgettable in this film. And he has the most personal and he has the most personal connection to Poe than every other villain in the franchise, since Shen actually took the life of his mother due to the Panda genocide. Yeah, this is still a comedy. If you can still imagine that this film, which is fucking crazy and nuts. But yeah, it's a hilarious comedy that doesn't rely on dark humor, and it can still be the darkest film of all time. For this type, for this franchise and these types of films, and being the reason he is adopted by Mr. Ping, who I didn't mention in the first film, but I thought, but I love Mr. Ping. I love him so much. Poe's adopted father at the noodle shop and the noodle restaurant is I love Mr. Ping, but anyway, Kung Fu Panda 2 is like really. It really does have a darker tone, and it's actually executed very well, and fitting into certain scenes. John Powell and Hans Zimmer's soundtrack is still excellent. Glad that they returned. Still bummed out that Osborne and Stevenson didn't come back to continue directing this film. But yeah, the music composers, Hans Zimmer, John Powell, amazing soundtrack, excellent soundtrack as always. And this film, guys, it has lots of heartfelt scenes, especially those involving Poe's origins. Listen, like this film it has a lot of emotional things, and just seeing Poe, his backstory, his backstory, him, as a little kid. I mean, I have a soft spot for pandas. Like if there's any type of animals that I can have as a household pet, I would choose a panda. I mean, legally, I mean, I know, I mean, it's probably, I think, it's illegal, probably, but I have a I don't know. I think pandas are cute and adorable, and I have a very soft spot for pandas. I'm emotionally, like, connect and sensitive to pandas, and this is an animated film, and they're cute and adorable, and you really feel the uh, emotional connection to Poe's origins. It has 2D animated scenes similar to the first film, and it's still pretty good. There's some funny humor, such as the stair scene. This perfectly balances the dark elements in the film very equally. And yeah, Baby Poe is just so adorable. The Sayer has some pretty funny scenes. The world building is once again excellent, such as the introduction of Gungman City. The final battle between Poe and Shin is epic as Poe destroys Shin's entire armada, and Shen's death is pretty brutal as a cannon falls on top of him. Plus, it is great. Shen accepts his fate at the end. The stakes are even higher than before as Shen plans to take over China using powerful weaponry. It is also personal since this is why Shen kills Poe's mother and many other pandas for it. This was one of my complaints for the first film. The stakes aren't really high in the first film because you're really getting an introduction to this world, to Jack Black's pose, and the Furious Fives, and Shifu, Master Oogway, and Tai Lung, and it really does. But like the first film is just really just training um Poe to be the Dragon Warrior, mostly. But anyway, yes, I like it. I like that the stakes are higher in this film than the first film, and it perfectly captures Poe's struggle with his past in a very realistic way. My only complaint with this film is that I thought the Act Two breakup between Poe and the Furious Five took too long. It took too long, and it felt a bit forced. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have only one complaint for this film. And one complaint, and it's somewhat of a nitpick, but somewhat not, you know. But anyway, yeah, like Kung Fu Panda 2 is definitely a step up in the right direction. I love this film. It's right up there with the first film. Um yeah, like this film, Kung Fu Panda 2, would go on. I mean, this film came out in 2011. The first film came out in 2008, so there's a gap in between. Um, by a couple years. Um, but yeah, this film would go on and become the highest grossing film directed by a female director until Frozen, as well as being the highest grossing film solely directed by a female director until Wonder Woman. And it was also the sixth highest grossing film of 2011, the highest grossing animated feature film of that year, and the highest grossing film in the Kung Fu Panda franchise overall. And it was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, but it lost to Rango, and Nelson became the and you know Jennifer Nelson became the second woman to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say for Kung Fu Panda 2. Thank you everyone for taking time to listening to my review, my thoughts. That's pretty much all I have to say. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be helping me out by a bunch, and I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that, and I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.